Welcome back to Belton's Backyard Buddies. I'm your host, Jenna Chappell. Today we'll be talking about my favorite order of insects, the beetles. Did you know that over 300,000 different types of beetles are found in the world? In the US alone, we have over 12,000 of them. In fact, over 1/4 of all animals on our planet are beetles. That's a lot of beetles. Beetles can be found in pretty much every ecosystem on the planet. This might be the river behind your house, like the predaceous diving beetle lives in. This might be the desert, like we have here in Texas. This might be in a tree in your backyard. This might be even in your house. Next, we're going to talk about the beetle's life cycle. All right, now we're on the beetle's life cycle. This is an example of our ladybug beetles. They have a complete life cycle starting with eggs that then develop into larvae. They have these very weird looking alien-like larvae. Obviously, these are not to size. Then they make a little pupal case and they develop into their pupa in here. After the pupa, they develop into our beloved ladybugs that we see in our garden. Now, the actual size of ladybug larvae are not this big, of course. They are this big. Do you see how little that is? They're teeny tiny, but they're ferocious eaters. They just really gobble those aphids up. Isn't that cool? Beetles range in size from teeny tiny, about the size of this dot, all the way to the size of my palm. Some of the largest beetles in the world are the rhinoceros beetles. We have Grubbers here. He's a larva of the rhinoceros beetle. Do you see how large he is? Now compare him, this very large grub, the larva of the rhinoceros beetle, to the larva that you saw earlier of the ladybug. Look at the size difference there. And since you know what a ladybug looks like, I'll show you what the rhinoceros beetle adult will look like too. We have two different kinds. We have a male. You see this male, how big he is? He has a little horn right there. And the female. And the female's bigger because they need lots of room to make those babies. And we have these in Texas. They're one of the largest beetles found in North America. Different beetles have different defense mechanisms. Now, what's a defense mechanism again? A defense mechanism is how they deter predators, things that want to eat them, from their bodies. This is how they tell the predator, go away, go away. So different beetles have different defense mechanisms. These can range from spraying chemicals like this blister beetle. Now, you'll see other blister beetles around North America that are really brightly colored, and they're telling you not to touch them because they spray these chemicals that will burn your skin, and it's super ouchy. Then we have the rhinoceros beetles that have these little tusks, these little, almost like a triceratops. And then we have the hardwood beetles, these longhorn beetles. They have these gigantic mandibles that pinch really bad. And they fly too, of course. They can always fly away. Then we have the click beetles. Now the click beetles, they surprise their predators. So they use this little area on their body to just snap and surprise their guys. Now then we have my little pets. These are found in the desert. And these are called blue death feigning beetles. And that's because they play dead like a possum. Let's see if we can make him do it. He's like, oh, Mom, don't do it. Look. No, Mom. All right, that one didn't do so much. Let's try one more. So they pretend, look, they pretend that they're dead so that predators don't want to eat them. How cool is that? Now, what's cool about these two, things that live in the desert, like these beetles, Beetles normally have 4 different wings. They have 2 sets. So one are the inner wings. They're called membranous wings, and they're see-through. And then they also have this elytrae, which are the hard wings on the outside to protect those membranous wings. Well, in desert beetles, their elytrae, the outer wings, are fused together so that they don't lose water. Because the desert is very hot and dry. So these are okay to pet. You can actually get these from sellers from the pet market. So I have about 6 of these, and they're great pets. They don't eat very much because, remember, they live in the desert and there's not much there to eat. So say bye to the blues. Bye. Now, before we go, I wanted to show you one of the largest rhinoceros beetles in the world. This is called an elephant beetle. You see this tusk right here like elephants have? Now, they use it as a defense mechanism like we talked about earlier. They use this tusk to ram each other and flip each other off. Now, remember we saw earlier that there are membranous wings underneath these elytrae right here. Now, these live in Mexico and some of the rainforests in South America. And they are one of the largest beetles on the planet, only surpassed by the Goliath beetle, which is on my next list of my collections. So, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you come back. And I'll see you next time on Belton's Backyard Buddies.